Hi everyone, my name is Grigori Balasanyan. I'm a 21-year-old composer, pianist, and a conductor. I'm originally from Yerevan, Armenia, now living in Boston, Massachusetts. I graduated from the Boston Conservatory at Berklee's undergraduate composition program, and now will be continuing my studies at the BCB, now pursuing an MM in choral conducting. I have been composing music since the age of 8 and playing the piano since the age of 4. The projects I work on range from concert pieces to multimedia collaborations and film scores. My compositional style is a strong blend of my Armenian cultural heritage and contemporary classical writing techniques, and using various musical aspects from my ethnical background. I strive to create my own compositional signature that allows me to portray modern issues surrounding my country, my community, my nation, and the world at large. One of the biggest and most significant projects in my career so far is my first ballet, which I wrote at the age of 14 based on a fairy tale written by the former First Lady of Armenia, writer Nune Sarkisyan. It was recorded by the Armenian State Symphonic Orchestra in 2019 and was staged in 2021 at Yerevan Choreographic College. The ballet became the first children's ballet in the history of Armenian music. Today, I'm going to present two of my many compositions I wrote during my 3 years at BCB as an undergraduate composition student. The first and probably the biggest project I was an author of this past 3 years was my first opera titled Silent Tears. This is something I've worked on since my freshman year, and during my last year when I was 20, it finally saw its premiere as a finished opera on November 16, 2024 in Boston, in collaboration with the Fenway Opera Club and many student instrumentalists from BCB, with an immense help from the administration and the composition department. Silent Tears is inspired by a story of a family I met in Yerevan, Armenia. During the days of war in 2020, they fled from the city of Hadrut in Nagorno-Karabakh or Artsakh. It was devastating to see so many children having to flee their homes without their parents. The fathers were either KIA or still fighting at the front lines. And when I heard the story of this child whose mother sacrificed her own life to save her, I had to dedicate a major work that represents a true story for so many other children who had to leave their homes. And now, for the first time in the last 5,000 years, there's not a single Armenian living in the region of Artsakh, and it is my duty as an Armenian American artist to represent and preserve my cultural and ethnic identity in my compositions, in my work, and try to inform and educate people about the modern day issues that surround my nation and my community. The four main characters of the opera are the daughter, the mother, and the grandmother, and now in the newly revised version of the opera, also the father. The story unfolds as the daughter, the mother, the grandmother are having dinner before the mother puts her daughter to sleep and sings her a lullaby. She then proceeds to do the laundry in the yard as she finds the jacket of her deceased husband with a letter in the inner pocket. As she's singing to the ghost of her late husband, the stage divides into two parts. In one part of the stage, it's her singing and reading the letter from her husband, who is still fighting in the war at this side of the stage. So there's this time lapse, and on this side of the stage, the husband is still alive and is writing the letter to his beloved wife and daughter. Her memories with her husband appear as ghosts around her as she squeezes her husband's jacket tight to her breasts and moans in sorrow. Suddenly, the city sirens go on as the air fills with the smoke from the enemy bombs. As the mother rushes towards the house, one of the enemy UAVs immortalizes her soul in her own backyard. The daughter, now awake, rushes outside to find her mother lying on the ground, dead. The sirens slowly quiet down as she sings to her mother, begging for her to come back. And the melody that she's singing, or the theme of the daughter, is based on a composition that I wrote for my mother when I was 9 years old. And just the whole opera in large uses a lot of folklore melodies. One of the main themes is a folklore song, the Song of the Churn, from the region of Artsakh, which is also used in the next composition that I will be presenting to you today. The sirens slowly quiet down, and the opera ends with the villagers being displaced from their homes. There's the grandmother's aria, who is singing to both her now daughter's ghost and her granddaughter, and she's sort of this key figure in the opera because she brings in hope, and she sings that this is a battle that we lost and that we are going to come back, but now we have to leave. The villagers sing for the freedom and justice for so many innocent lives lost. Now you will hear fragments from the performance setting of the opera, which happened in April this year as part of my senior recital. Thank you. The second composition I would like to talk about is called Recollections, as my string quartet number 3. It won the third prize in the National Composition Competition Music for Unity Homecoming to Artsakh, where I was the youngest finalist of 6, competing against a lot of industry professionals and professors from my own school and many other schools. Recollection is a string quartet composition inspired by the Armenian folklore tune, The Song of the Churn, which was also used in my opera. This piece weaves together traditional melodies and contemporary harmonies and captures the essence of my Armenian cultural heritage. It opens with this folk-like, very textural method of structuring the tune, so you don't really hear the melody itself, but it is sort of divided into the 4 instruments, different octaves, and a lot of textural techniques from the strings. It opens with a haunting rendition, I guess, of the original tune, which then gradually unfolds into more rich and active tapestry of textures and rhythms. The tune as a whole is never given in the composition itself, but rather broken down into pieces and phrases and hidden in the whole context of the piece. It was performed and premiered by the Lyrics Quartet in Los Angeles in 2024, September. Yeah. At last, I want to thank Composers Now and the Impact Project for including me in this amazing list of composers and giving me the opportunity to showcase my work.